There's no real starting point to a dynasty.
What? What does that mean? What does that mean?
It isn't created out of a single moment.
It's good! It's good!
It's created out of a confluence of circumstance. And that's what makes it so fascinating.
It is the receiver. 9.
Getting 7 points here.
All 6 of you work your tail off.
5 seconds left. 4, you dreaming? 3, 4. That was 3. 7, 2, pressure, 2 weeks. 1.
I love when we throw around the term dynasty because it's so malleable.
The starting point is fluid. It's kind of like a circle.
It feels good to be the king. Now we have to go back and start a dynasty. Dynasty, whatever you want to call it. We're getting our 3rd ring today.
So, what makes a dynasty?
If you go back-to-back, then we can start using the D word.
2 in a row.
Back to back.
You can't win back-to-back championships and then disappear and call yourself a dynasty.
Everybody talk about a dynasty.
You've got to dominate for 5 or 6 years to claim that title.
The Patriots are going to be Super Bowl champions again.
You got to have a lot of Pro Bowlers, a lot of All-Stars.
Rice has got it.
Players are first ballot Hall of Famers.
Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
But you can't just win a lot. You need to change the game if you want to truly be a dynasty.
The McKay gun will go to work.
If you're a dynasty, you're naturally loved or hated. Probably simultaneously both.
There's been a lot of debate of what constitutes a dynasty. I mean, you can have these debates, or you can just be like, look at all these rings on my hand. Dynasty? Sure, go ahead. Call me a dynasty. If you don't call me a dynasty, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep looking at all these rings on my hand.
The number 10 dynasty of all time. The Raiders of the 70s and 80s. Raiders dynasty of the 70s and 80s personifies what NFL football is all about.
The autumn wind is a Raider, pillaging just for fun.
Wasn't nothing fancy about the Raiders. Blue collar. It was the working man's team. There's never been another team to encapsulate that spirit better than the Raiders did in the 70s and 80s.
I like what the Oakland Raiders of the 70s were all about.
It was just dudes that wanted to rip your helmet off.
You gonna have any fights this week?
Oh, man, we got to have some fight.
Here come all the Raiders!
It was something out of professional wrestling.
Holy Toledo, it's a free-for-all!
And that's something that pro football could use more of in my book.
I throw the damn flag! You big jerk! Ever club winner, Nip?
Now we're sort of used to the anti-hero. But at the time, the anti-hero wasn't really a thing, except for the Raiders.
That team was built on being kind of nasty.
The AFC was brutal in the 70s.
In fact, the Raiders lost the AFC Championship game in 5 of John Madden's first 7 seasons as head coach.
I mean, they're losing to the undefeated Dolphins. They're losing to the Steel Curtain Steelers.
In 1976, the Raiders finally got their win.
Going to the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl 11 win was incredibly sweet because not only was it their first Super Bowl win, it was a dominant win.
Old Man Willie!
You could see the relief on Madden's face.
John, how's it feel?
Great. Waited a long time for it.
Under Tom Flores, the Raiders added 2 more Super Bowl wins in the early 80s.
We are gonna win, no question.
It's kind of a shame that Madden wasn't coaching for Super Bowl 15 because that was his team.
They were all a bunch of guys that no one expected to do anything. That 83 team had no business being in the Super Bowl, and yet there they were.
Our number 10 team married winning and mythology.
We've ascribed names to a lot of their games. You have the Immaculate Reception. In the Sea of Hands game, you had the Ghost to the Post. The Holy Roller game.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most impossible dream of a play.
They infused personality into the game. They were really changing the narrative of the NFL in those years.
To me, that was the most significant dynasty that the NFL has ever seen.
Here come the cheerleaders out.
One dynasty that will never be duplicated is that of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, the NFL's premier cheer squad.
When I cheered for the Dallas Cowboys, it was pretty amazing. The cheerleaders are an entity of their own. Like, they are America's sweethearts.
They have to go practice 2 or 3 hours every night, and after that they go out to a disco and sit around and drink till about 4 in the morning.
When they announce the cheerleaders, the fans actually stand up. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are their own dynasty, and then there's no other team that'll ever beat that.
The number 9 dynasty of all time. America's team, the 70s Cowboys.
Dallas, Dynasty. Those were both shows in the 80s, am I right?
Correct. But this was the 1970s when disco ruled the radio and the Cowboys ruled the gridiron.
The Dallas Cowboys are the champions of the National Football League.
The fancy pants, star-hatted fellas with all their trickery and their stunts at the offensive line and all sorts of hooey and applesauce.
How about Flea Flicker City? Staubach going deep for Tony Hill. Touchdown.
They did it with a certain pizzazz that surrounded America's team.
You start with the 1970s, and that's where the Cowboys really earned the America's team tag. Tom Landry and Captain Comeback, Roger Staubach.
Well, the Cowboys need a miracle. Roger, he's going long. Down the near sideline for Drew Pearson. Pearson makes the catch at the 5. Touchdown! Would you believe it?
They were America's team for every reason. The way they won, they were that good.
Complete, total, utter domination.
They call it America's team, but they were probably the most hated team in America, too.
We want Dallas! Dallas! We hate you! Dallas!
I hated them being called America's team. Tom Landry was walking around, and he was such a dandy, and he had that nice hat. You just wanted to knock that hat off and maybe stomp on it.
I know it was NFL Films that came up with that tag of America's team.
They are the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
I love NFL Films. I will not watch that. It would just shatter my television into 1,000 pieces.
The Cowboys went to 5 Super Bowls in the 70s, and the team that went early in the 70s was so much different than the team that ended the 70s.
It was the man in the fedora, Tom Landry, who had that consistent excellence no matter who the players were.
Landry will put on another ring.
Number 9 on our list, the Cowboys lost 3 Super Bowls in the 1970s, 2 of which were at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Roger back to throw, has a man open in the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, drop!
I think if they had beaten the Steelers even once in a Super Bowl, I think you'd see a lot more of those players in the Hall of Fame and a lot more credit for that team, as good as they were.
Super Bowl 13, captured by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Cowboys had the most wins in the 70s. The Steelers actually only had the 4th most wins. So a couple of plays are different. They could have won 4 Super Bowls. So those Cowboys teams maybe could be higher on the list.
Greatness is competing for championships and having a chance to win a championship. And the Cowboys certainly did that in that period of time.
Number 8 dynasty of all time, the 90s Bills.
The Bills were not a dynasty. They never won. If you don't win, how can you be a dynasty?
On the way, it's long enough.
They're a dynasty of sadness and despair. Their dynasty is getting kicked while they're already down.
The pain is deep for Buffalo. You go to the Super Bowl 4 times straight?
4, baby. I sleep in.
People can't say they went 1 time straight. You know what I'm saying? You went 4 straight? You got to be a dynasty.
The greatest team ever to never win a title.
Kelly to pass. He throws long this time, and it is caught. He's on his way for a touchdown.
They were loaded. That was as good of a team as you'll see. I mean, everywhere you look, there's a Hall of Famer.
He's in for the touchdown.
Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith.
Hamilton.
Too legit to quit. No one in the AFC could touch the 8th greatest dynasty of all time, as the Bills won 4 straight conference championships.
Awesome team, really good all year, but on Super Sunday, just
not so super.
Buffalo, there are no words.
4 straight Super Bowl losses.
Anytime my buddy is talking to a girl at the bar and he's about to go home with her and then doesn't, I call him the 90s Bills.
He's an idiot, the guy.
Oh, you got her number? Okay. Okay, Scott Norwood. Good job.
On the way, it's long enough. No good.
I know Scott Norwood missed a field goal, but if he makes that field goal, and I know I said if, I think we'd be talking about this team totally differently.
As the Super Bowls went on, the losses became more lopsided, and people just started to look at the Bills like, what are you doing here to spoil the Super Bowl? Get out. But they couldn't help themselves. They were too good a team.
And they are going back to the Super Bowl for a 4th straight time. Back to back to back to back.
Just getting there is really hard. When you get there 4 times, that is unbelievable.
Despite being the only team in NFL history to go to 4 straight Super Bowls, not all of our experts feel the Bills belong on our list.
They were just getting the Super Bowl out of a bad conference.
Hold on, let's not go crazy with it.
I would put them in the top 10. I think 8's perfect.
Are y'all convinced now?
If you're going to put the Bills on this list, they're number 10. You can't have dynasties that won Super Bowls below a team that never won one.
That's the most chicken call I've ever seen.
I think they're very deserving. I don't think anybody will ever go to 4 Super Bowls in a row again.
People get too caught up in the Super Bowl era and they forget that, pro football's been played for 95 years.
Are we missing somebody?
If you don't mention the Bears of the 40s,
don't do that.
The World War II era, you're missing something big time.
It's terrible, man. Because you're doing it wrong.
The Bears won 18 games in a row, twice.
And the first Bear touchdown of the game.
Had those teams not been broken up by the war, they would have been the greatest team in league history, bar none.
I think Johnny Unitas' Colts should be on the list. From 58 to 70, they won 3 titles. They played in 2 other championship games.
Congratulations. I've never seen a greater job.
That team was a great team for a long time.
The 60s Colts were coached by Don Shula.
Great by the defense, great by the offense.
But Shula's best work was yet to come.
The number 7 dynasty of all time. Shula's Dolphins of the early 70s.
Gotta have the Dolphins higher. You gotta have the Dolphins higher. 71, they go to the Super Bowl and lose. 72, they go undefeated.
Shula has won his Super Bowl.
73, win the Super Bowl again, and they dominated so much that Bob Greasy threw 7 passes.
It's been all Miami, all Larry Dunker.
That is insane. I think they got to be higher.
Before Shula got there, they were a complete, total laughingstock.
I don't think that anything good ever comes out of losing.
He gets there in 1970 from Baltimore.
Back in a huddle, let's go.
They go 10-4, make the playoffs.
Let's get something out of the drill.
And the next year, they're in the Super Bowl.
They were the best team in an era of the most boring football in NFL history. Very little innovation, just
give me the Zonka.
Run and don't take any chances.
The first Super Bowl they play in against Dallas, they get destroyed. The next year, training camp, Shula stands up for the team and says, we're going to have a perfect year.
I don't think they ever think about a perfect season when your starting quarterback goes down.
After losing Bob Greasy in Week 5, our number 7 dynasty didn't miss a beat.
Earl Morrow comes in and fills in brilliantly for Greasy, and of course they went on and completed the run, and it's the perfect season.
Even when they were doing that, I don't think they ever got the respect they deserved. I mean, most people thought the Redskins would have beat them in the Super Bowl.
The Dolphins have completed the greatest season in NFL history.
The 72 Dolphins weren't actually the best team. The 73 Dolphins were the best team of that group.
And Zonka picks up another 13 yards.
We're a better football team than we were a year ago at this time.
Those 3 years was the most sustained run of excellence in NFL history.
I think we look at that undefeated season and we create a little halo around this team.
They had a historically easy schedule. They faced 2 teams with a winning record the entire season.
You talk about transcending an era, that team would not be able to do that. Bob Greasy at quarter. Bob Greasy? Bob Greasy's in the Hall of Fame. What? He's Alex Smith.
That was a different brand of football. You can't penalize the Dolphins because they were built to play in the 1970s.
Ahead of the Dallas Cowboys? That's hard to believe when you consider that the Dallas Cowboys beat the Miami Dolphins in Super Bowl VI. Who put this list together?
Boy, it's really hard not to view a team as a dynasty when they make it to 3 Super Bowls in a row.
I think for 3 seasons of absolute excellence, you can't beat the 71 through 73 Dolphins.
The number 6 dynasty of all time. The 1950s Cleveland Browns.
Number 6?
Yes.
A team from the 50s.
I actually love the 50s Browns being on this list. I really do.
That's a little high from a team from the 50s.
10 seasons completed since the Browns were organized, 10 straight division championships, 7 world titles. The dynasty is established.
I'm so glad you guys are doing this because young sports fans need to know. Cleveland Browns of the 1950s, Otto Graham won a league title or a division title for a decade straight.
The All-American Football Conference, where the Cleveland Browns got started, they dominated. They won every year, 46 through 49. Okay, so people blew it off. 1950, they come into the league in their first game. They hammered the defending champ Eagles 35-10.
They were supposed to be a laughing stock from this minor league, and they came over and just beat all the best teams in the NFL.
And the Browns have entered another championship, this one a cherished conquest in the National Football League.
The Cleveland Browns dominating the NFL in the 50s is kind of like if Jim Kelly and the Houston Gamblers had come in and dominated the NFL in the 90s.
The Browns of the 1940s and 1950s professionalized football. They professionalized coaching staffs. They professionalized passing games.
Graham and Labelli got together on this touchdown pass.
They professionalized playbooks.
The most valuable piece of equipment is the playbook. If it's lost, the fine may be as high as $300.
Most of football's advancements were started by Paul Brown.
What he did with Otto Graham was he created the passing system in his deliberate desire to throw the football. It was really revolutionary at the time.
We start with the man we think is the game's greatest coach and the grandest guy in the world, Paul Brown.
Hello.
I'll say this to you about the Browns of the 50s.
And what a day for Otto Graham. 4 touchdowns and 3 conversions.
It's the same thing as Don Hutson. Don't forget about Don Hutson. Oh, no, I'm going to forget about Don Hutson. You know why I'm going to? Because he had the likes of me covering him. It was an irrelevant sport. The good athletes were either boxing or playing baseball. I was playing pro football against Don Hutson. Cleveland Browns, I'm glad you had a nice little run in minor league days. Goodbye.
The Browns, as an expansion team, went to the NFL championship game their first 6 years. That's the greatest expansion team of all time.
10 straight division championships, 7 world titles.
If you're talking dynasty, how does it get more dominant than 10 straight years in a championship?
The number 5 dynasty of all time. The 90s Cowboys.
The Cowboys coming into the 90s, they were like the worst team in the league.
Old age had caught up to America's team by the time Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys in 1989.
We must win. We will win. Win is the name of the game.
Jones made a big splash in Big D. Within a year, he put legendary coach Tom Landry out to pasture, hired his college teammate Jimmy Johnson, and traded Pro Bowl running back Herschel Walker.
Thank you, Herschel Walker and Mike Lynn, who was the Vikings general manager, who sent the Cowboys a boatload of draft picks for Herschel Walker. That kind of helped jumpstart this thing.
Retooled, the Cowboys quickly reclaimed their spot atop the NFL, winning 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, earning them the number 5 spot on our list.
The Cowboys are back on top of the mountain now.
They knew they were good. They were going to tell you they were good.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Team you love to hate, team you didn't want to root for.
If you're going to talk the talk, you're going to walk the walk.
Cowboys are easy to not like. Jerry's a brash owner. They've got a good-looking quarterback. They've got a really boisterous wide receiver.
What I do? Make plays. Nothing but make plays, baby.
They have a guy that leads the league in rushing every year.
22 yards for number 22.
Jimmy Johnson was the head coach and the leader of that team. Jimmy Johnson had more hairspray in his hair than my mom used.
I would say who had the better hair. I'm going to say Jimmy Johnson had the better hair because his hair doesn't move. You know, stayed right there. Ours kind of was all over the place. Jimmy had the hair that didn't move and was perfect.
It's so memorable. When Emmett messes up Jimmy Johnson's hair, it's like everyone can relax again. It's like, ah.
But the undoing of this dynasty was a rift between head coach and owner.
We have mutually decided that I would no longer be the head football coach with the Dallas Cowboys.
It all worked well until people started distributing credit, and they would distribute credit to Jimmy, and they would say, this is, wow, Jimmy's a genius here, and Jerry would just be sitting over there and kind of stewing that how come no one's throwing flowers at my feet?
You just say, what if? What if Jimmy Johnson stays? They win 2 Super Bowls in 92 and 93, and then Jimmy's out of there. By grace of God, they win one with Barry Switzer.
We did it! We did it!
It's Jimmy Johnson instead of Barry Switzer. They could have had 2, 3, 4 more.
I think that's right where they belong. The Cowboys of the 90s should probably be higher if Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson could have gotten along better.
The number 4 dynasty of all time. The 21st Century Patriots.
No, they're not a number 4 team.
I got to ask you, who's ahead of the Patriots?
Patriots are Super Bowl champions back-to-back. 3 out of 4.
When you talk about the Patriots as a dynasty, you have to start with the fact that they've done it in the free agency era. That's supposed to deny dynasties.
Patriots back in the lead.
It's an era of parity. They've made it to 6 Super Bowls in 15 years. That's an NFL record. To me, the Patriots are the best dynasty of all time.
Time to roll!
When you look at their roster, really the only constant has been Tom Brady.
On an absolute dime.
And Bill Belichick.
That's it. That's the way to go. Nice job.
It seems like they have a new cast of characters every single season.
Touchdown, Kenbrell Tompkins. Shea Caldwell.
It's an absolutely amazing coaching job Bill Belichick and his staff have done with this team.
And impressively, they've done it with different styles. When Brady was first there,
like sticks.
His job was to not mess things up. Then they go to flying up and down the field.
Touchdown pass number 50.
It's all about Brady and Moss.
They are the great dynasty of the era of free agency.
I'm trying to take care of you.
But as long as Belichick's running this franchise, it could go on forever.
16-0. Perfection personified by the Patriots.
They had what probably would have been regarded as the greatest team ever if they just win that Super Bowl to cap off what would have been a perfect season.
And what a catch by Tyree.
It's 2 fluke plays that kept them from winning those games, so they could have had more Super Bowls.
This is a catch. It's a miracle.
I gotta see this again.
It's happening to Brady again. It's almost the same exact situation.
Hurts on his back. Are you kidding me?
And then Carroll and Bevel screwed it up.
And it's good. Intercepted.
Actually, Belichick looked great on Letterman. They asked Pete Carroll to appear on Letterman, but he decided to pass. Am I right, everybody? Good night.
There might be an asterisk next to this dynasty.
The evil empire is the Patriots. I mean, there's no doubt.
When it comes to evil, Patriots have surpassed the Raiders.
My, oh my, oh my. Between Spygate to the insanity of this Deflategate.
Tom's personal preferences on his footballs.
I'm just glad that his spying scandal and his ball scandal are not the same scandal.
What did they really have? They had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and they won, and they won, and they won.
Hey, take it to another level, all right?
These guys should be in an old folks home by now. They should be using walkers to get around. They should be drinking things that are pureed. And they're out there winning Super Bowls.
Way to go, man. Way to go. That's tremendous.
It's almost impossible to sustain success in the modern NFL landscape.
Yes, it's a dynasty.
I think these guys should be number one.
Come on, baby, no mistakes. Get it right. Get it right.
Identifying dynasties can be dicey business.
That's not good enough. This is terrible. That's terrible, man. That's terrible, man.
I'm thinking maybe the Redskins of the 80s and early 90s kind of got the short shrift on this list. Because they had two separate runs.
Here comes the diesel.
We are seeing a virtuoso performance.
And three different quarterbacks won Super Bowls for them. To go from Joe Theismann.
We're not real talented. We're not real great.
To Doug Williams and Mark Rippon. Was it Timmy White? Timmy Williams? Timmy Smith. Who's Timmy Smith?
He's got to go over 200 yards. Will be the single game rushing leader in Super Bowl history.
That's got to do it. Joe Gibbs deserves much more credit on the dynasty list, or at least a place on the medal stand.
Gibbs was great, but our Joe was cool.
The number 3 dynasty of all time, the Bill Walsh 49ers of the 80s.
Oh, I want to recount. I want to recount. They're number 1.
The 49ers with 3 Super Bowl victories in the 1980s.
The San Francisco 49ers are not only the greatest dynasty in NFL history.
Coach Walsh and the staff, thanks for setting a superb example.
They're the greatest franchise in the history of mankind.
The world's champion in every sense of the word. Thank you, and God.
And that's fact. No bias.
The Niners of the 80s, I'm always going to think that's as great as it gets.
Magnificent touchdown, 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 49ers!
You had games where it was a finely tuned machine and they just looked unstoppable.
Out in front is Rice. He is there. He's got it. He's got 40.
But then they had games where it's not looking so good, and what are we going to do? And that's when the magic put them over the top.
Caught by Clark. Here's a touchdown for the 49ers.
There were three things. There's death, there's taxes, there was Joe Montana game-winning drives.
Joe Montana was a creator. He was an improviser.
Just complete control of the offense.
If Joe Montana rapped, he'd probably be a great freestyle rapper.
He was the ultimate instrument, but Walsh was the virtuoso.
Bill Walsh brought art to the game of football. They created a system that 3 decades later,
that's West Coast offense all day.
Other teams are winning Super Bowls with.
The 49ers were a philosophy as much as they were a team. Took a guy like Joe Montana and made him a perfect system quarterback.
Precision, it's a clinic.
It made stars out of guys like Roger Craig.
Breaks loose again. Oh, what a spectacular run by Roger Craig.
Eventually it had the greatest receiver, maybe the greatest player of all time in Jerry Rice.
Rice, he got it.
Bill Walsh, he's the finest mind football has ever produced.
Super Bowl 23.
It's such a sight to watch this. It's almost like poetry.
The John Taylor catch. That play was such a perfect encapsulation of the Niners dynasty.
At the 10-yard line, 39 seconds remaining.
They had it designed for Jerry Rice and John Taylor to be opposite each other. And the defense was going to play man. Well, what happened was Jerry Rice shifted. Most of the attention went to Jerry Rice. John Taylor didn't have a single catch all day. His stat line for Super Bowl 23 reads 1 catch, 10 yards, 1 touchdown.
A couple guys followed Rice. One man was on Taylor. He ran a post pattern and Montana hit him in stride.
That to me was the exclamation mark at the end of that dynasty to say this championship wasn't one game. It was a decade of preparation.
How about a 16-17 lead from Blue?
The 49ers, the West Coast offense, changed the game forever. That's why I think they're the greatest dynasty in NFL history.
A 77-yard touchdown pass to Jerry Rice.
It would take me about 1/4 of 1 second to tell you San Francisco 49ers, number 1. And if they're not number 1, I want to recount.
Now, the Giants don't make your list of dynasties, which I think is absolutely crazy.
I don't get it.
Big Blue won 4 Lombardi trophies over a 20-year span.
The Giants have finished off the Patriots in the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years. They won the Super Bowl.
You could give them a list of every 4-year dynasty. I don't know. Could make a new category.
That's like crazy.
John Elway finished his career with 2 straight Super Bowl wins.
This one's for John.
And Denver will become the 6th franchise in NFL history to win back-to-back Super Bowls.
Another number 7, Ben Roethlisberger, led Pittsburgh to 2 titles.
And now Ben Roethlisberger, the youngest quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl championship.
Santonio with a touchdown!
I'll tell you what, I look forward to seeing you soon. All right, Mr. President.
While impressive, none of them came close to equaling what our next team did.
The number 2 dynasty of all time, the 70s Steelers.
When you want to talk about that 70s dynasty, man, you sit up. You give respect. You pay homage.
The blue-collar mentality, tough defense, pounding the football, brawn.
You look at every single position group up and down, and there's just greatness.
That was just the perfect storm of a team.
There are 27 teams in pro football. And then there are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Building that thing from what it was, I mean, it was awful. People forget the Steelers were awful.
Years of frustration ended with the arrival of head coach Chuck Noll and some divine intervention.
Fires it downfield, and there's a collision. It's caught out of the air. The ball is pulled in by Franco Harris. Harris is going for a touchdown for Pittsburgh.
The play jump-started the number 2 dynasty of all time, as the Steelers hoisted the Lombardi Trophy 4 times in 6 years.
Number 1! The Pittsburgh Steelers are the champions of the National Football League for the 4th time.
To me, the greatest defense of all time is a steel curtain. I mean, come on. They were the best.
Players like Mean Joe Green and Jack Ham and Jack Lambert.
That'll cool your ass off.
They absolutely demoralized opponents before they took the field against them. You knew you weren't going to have offensive success that day.
I'm going to hit it hard, and you just show you get outside, because I'm hitting it like a...
You weren't getting past them, and if you did, you were limping away from that fight. They were going to make you pay for every yard that you earned.
I think on the off days, they used to eat rocks and cement and bricks and stuff like that. And you spitting your teeth out and rocks, nobody can score on you.
Saw Mean Joe Green come up when he was a scout for Pittsburgh on the 2nd floor, walk to his office, step to the side, let the man walk through. Like, that's the kind of present them boys had and still do to this day.
In 1978, Terry Bradshaw was football's most prolific passer.
They won different ways. It wasn't the same formula. In 74 and 75, it was defense and the run game with Terry Bradshaw as a complementary piece. In 78 and 79, it was a wide-open pass game.
Here is Bradshaw giving the ball to Blyer. Blyer reverses it to Swan. He gives it back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw firing for Cunningham. A Pittsburgh touchdown. How about that?
It became more about Terry Bradshaw and throwing the ball down the field and Lynn Swan and John Stallworth. Let's open it up.
There it is, Terry! Bradshaw's back deep, good protection. Going deep for Swan. There's Swan to catch it for the touchdown.
We get on fire, we get confident, we get that fever, and we're hard to play. I'd hate to have to play against us.
We got the best offense, the best defense, and we got the terrible towel.
Not even the terrible towel could push Pittsburgh into the top spot on our list.
70s Steelers, I think, probably are
seems crazy to say it, but a little high.
How dare you put any name? I don't even want to hear any more about it. I don't want to hear who you have at number one.
They were great basically for 6 years, and they maxed out. I mean, they won 4 Super Bowls. Hard to come up with a scenario in which the Steelers would win more than the 4 that they won.
Look at the list that you've put together here. You have the 70s Raiders, the 70s Cowboys, the 70s Dolphins. Who stood head and shoulders above them all in the most titanic era of pro football?
Dave, I think you're totally irrational on this. 70 Steelers had a 6-year run. 6 years is just not enough.
The #1 dynasty of all time, Lombardi's Packers.
The Packers are, I think, what we think of as a dynasty.
The Green Bay Packers are the National Football League champions.
You think of Vince Lombardi's camel's hair coat and fedora, the Ice Bowl.
Star begins the count. He's got the quarterback sneaking. He's into the touchdown.
Gotta be #1. Come on. Man, there's no question.
Lombardi's Packers were tremendous because, #1, they were tremendously coached.
They're trying to get us a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
Part of it was running things in a way that was unique, creating a modern type of training camp coming out of the 1950s when football was still a little bit haphazard.
You can't play fatigue, therefore it's up to you to be in prime physical condition.
You talk with any Packer person involved with that team, and they would tell you that they had this miserable guy coaching them.
Everybody grabbing out there, nobody's tackling.
But this miserable guy knew how to push the right buttons.
I'll tell you something, Leroy, you're not going to get your job back unless we get a better performance.
Vince Lombardi to 21st century NFL players would be like the funny uncle in the room, like, look at that guy, he's wearing that coat with like the fur on it, and he's got those glasses. Man, you hear what that guy talking about? Every 5 minutes, he's always asking what the hell's going on around here.
What the hell's going on out here?
I don't know, but that guy's hilarious. They should name a trophy after him or something.
Coaching the Packers has been an unequal thrill for Vince Lombardi, who has at his disposal perhaps the greatest football team ever assembled.
Things they did in regards to domination of opponent, I mean, just dominating.
And this fumble kills the hopes of the Baltimore Colts. Jimmy Taylor pile drives his way in for the Packers touchdown.
During Lombardi's 9-year run in Green Bay, the Packers posted 89 wins and 6 division titles.
Let's go now, a little life out here.
Star fires up the middle, the pass is complete for the touchdown.
Very limited playbook, but such superior personnel that they could almost have the quarterback yell out what the play is to the defense before the play is snapped, run the play, and you still can't stop them.
And there you saw the Green Bay Packer power sweep.
And then the defense led by Nitschke and his band of marauders, if you will.
I go in every ball game figuring we're going to have a shutout. And I'm very disappointed when they score the first, and I'm more disappointed when they score the second time on us if it happens.
He took over Vince Lombardi, a 1-win team, turned him into a 7-5 team. Then in 1960, they're in the NFL championship. They lose, and Lombardi says, this isn't happening again, literally. And they went on an unprecedented run. They won 5 titles in the 60s.
Horning off the right side, touches the 5, touchdown.
The ball game's over, and the Green Bay Packers have won the championship. Each year, you have different motivating features, and we're going to try to repeat.
And the Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions for the 3rd straight year.
People started noticing him when the Super Bowl era began. But some of their teams before that were even better.
You could argue the 62 Packers are the greatest team in NFL history by their point difference. They outscored their opponents, I think, 415 to 148. Unbelievable how good the 62 Packers were.
And Green Bay can do no wrong.
Although our list is done, the debate rages on.
Who won 4 out of 6 Super Bowls? The Pittsburgh Steelers, that's who. How could you put any team ahead of that?
Come on, the 60s Packers, there's a couple in the house today. I mean, they're the greats. They are the greatest of the greats.
Think about what the Steelers are named after. They're named after steel. You know why they're named after steel? Because during WW II, Pittsburghers forged the steel that went to build the ships and tanks that took down the Nazi skirt.
The Lombardi Packers are Americana. They're like Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe.
If you don't love Pittsburgh, you don't love freedom.
For my money, no doubt, 60s Packers got to be #1.